Hello friends, welcome back. Welcome to a new video of fall DIY home decor and room decor on a budget using items from the Dollar Tree. I know that's something that you guys like seeing on my channel here is a lot of the Dollar Tree DIYs. Simple, easy decor for fall. So in my last video, I did a little bit more of a fall decorate with me, and I will link that video down below as well as up top here. And then in my next upcoming video, we're gonna do some outdoor fall decorating with me and some recipes for fall. But for today, we are sharing some fall DIY decor using Dollar Tree items, very affordable and budget friendly. Let me know which one is your favorite and let's get started. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. And for this DIY, we are taking some florals from Dollar Tree along with a styrofoam wreath form. I also have some of these little eucalyptus picks that I got in Hobby Lobby, so they were actually 50% off. Now we're going to take this wreath form and I'm pulling off all these different mums from Dollar Tree and hot gluing them on. I'm going to use all the green leaves as well and then add in eucalyptus picks, mix them in all the way around so we get a nice arrangement of kind of cream, mauve, and some green tones. And I think this is so pretty, especially if you are going for a little bit more of a neutral fall decor. I had a few pumpkins that I decided to glue in here, and that just helped fill in the last few gaps of space. And now this is a really pretty wreath that you could hang on a door if you want to. You could probably also hang it like on a cabinet door. I decided to actually place this as like a centerpiece arrangement and then put one of these little wire pieces from Dollar Tree. This actually was part of, it came with a little cement stand on the bottom. You guys might remember it was kind of like a decor vase. I'm gonna just use the wire part kind of as a stand to put one of these glass vases from Dollar Tree, set it right in there, and it almost makes it like a riser, and then we can put a candle in there, either real or artificial. You guys know I love using the LED candles, especially because they're on a timer, so they just can go on every day at the same time, but of course they're much safer to use if you have kids or pets. Moving on now, we are taking this little cute sign. I got this in Dollar Tree, and I also had this little burlap banner also from Dollar Tree. Oh, also the envelope we're going to use. We're just repurposing lots of things here. I did decide to paint the sign over quickly first. I just did it with a coat of spray paint because the burlap doesn't fully 100% cover it, but it is a really good close fit. And Dollar Tree does have these little house signs for different seasons. Metal envelope hanger, sprayed it over with some metallic gold spray paint, and then hot glued that right on. And we're gonna add some fall florals in here. I found these really pretty orange flowers in Dollar Tree. You could add some dried florals in here, and then this is perfect to just set on any bookshelf or, any little vignette that you might wanna put together somewhere around your home. For the next one now, we are taking a few different signs. Dollar Tree has plenty of signs that you can use, seasonally. They always have signs. So I have a few here that I already had laying around. Basically want to find 3 wooden signs from Dollar Tree that are in 3 different heights. So this one worked out pretty nicely. For me to actually put the longer, taller, narrow one on top of this wider one, and then side by side, then glue in that other medium rectangle one kind of next to it. And I did use a mix of hot glue here and wood glue just so that I could get a quick hold, but also like as it sits and cures, it'll have a better long-term hold, especially because I'm thinking of using this one outdoors. So once you've attached your 3 wooden pieces to make it look like you have 3 different heights here, I painted the whole thing over with some orange paint, and while that's drying, let's go ahead and make a little wreath for it. So this part's kind of optional because you could actually just shape your own wreath out of some leaf garland or florals or greenery, but I'm actually going to use one of these little wreath forms that I picked up in Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a pack, and we're going to use one of them and wrap it first in some burlap ribbon. And you don't really have to wrap it. I just found it makes gluing all of your little florals on much easier, and that way you don't really see the frame. And then I have this eucalyptus that I got half off, 50% off in Joann Fabrics. is it Joann Fabrics or just called Joann's now? Because I feel like they have so much more than fabric. I'm always amazed at how cute some of their decor is. They had a lot of really nice fall florals this year. So I have this little wooden piece from Dollar Tree, and I decided to, rather than stain the edges of it, maybe I should have stained it, but I was feeling a little bit adventurous and decided to try something a little bit different. So my lighter is actually out of lighter fluid, so it did not work. So I'm using a candle here and just kind of like burning the edges of it a little bit. Definitely be very safe. I was doing this right next to my kitchen sink, so literally, like, if the wood had any problems with fire, like, I would just throw it into the water in the sink, like, it would be fine. But definitely just be super careful if you decide to do anything like I'm doing here. Kind of one of those, like, don't try this at home type of things, but just be safe about it. And like I said, I'm right next to our kitchen sink here, and I could have just put it right into the water. So, but it worked out fine. I just hold it a little bit above the flame, and it just kind of burned the tip of the wood and gave it a little bit of a singed darker edge, which I thought was pretty cool. Gave it a little bit of a unique look, but you could almost create the same effect using like a Sharpie marker or a little bit of wood stain, or even just kind of painting the edge. If you have some paint, you could definitely just paint it to look like this. I'm just using a regular old Sharpie here to write out the word welcome, and we're going to add this to the middle of our wreath. Now, I was trying to put these whole long pieces that are like 5 or 6 inches long of eucalyptus on, and it was just too much. So I found that the best thing to do was to actually cut them into 4 pieces each. And to do that, I actually tried to cut them in between. So every few leaves, I would leave the stem and then cut right before the next set of leaves. So basically at the end of each one, I would have a long stem part, and then where the next one begins, it would kind of start right at the leaves without having an empty stem sticking up above the top of the leaves. Hopefully that kind of makes sense, but I basically tried to make it look like they were all individual pieces and not look like I had cut one stem into multiple pieces. Hopefully that makes sense. I just hot glued all of these into place, and it was easier with them being smaller to just kind of fill in the gaps and fill it in. Now we're going to move back over to our orange piece, and we're going to make 3 little pumpkin tops for it. So for that, I'm using 3 of the wooden Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree, and I have some scraps of rope here. So this rope was actually unwinding, and it was just a big mess. But instead of throwing it away, because I couldn't rewind it into a nice neat rope, it was just kind of a mess and shredding apart. But it was the perfect thing to take a little hot glue and wrap this untangling twine rope all around that wooden Jenga block. So I left the bottom part open so that I would be able to glue it onto the wood, and I wanted to have a nice wood to wood contact, surface contact, to be able to glue it. But I wrapped the rest of it with some hot glue all the way around the wooden Jenga block, and then, you know, covered it in there at the top, finished it off, and fully covered in the top part of the wooden Jenga block there. And once that's all done, you can take a lighter to burn off the little fibers and threads that stick off of a jute rope or jute twine. They have a lot of little pieces. Again, be super careful doing this. I've always done it using a lighter, and it works fine. I've never had any issue, but like I said, my lighter wasn't working. I had to throw it away. It's completely used up. So next best thing was to just use a candle here. Just be extremely careful with your fingers. And again, like I said, I'm doing this right next to the sink, so if anything, you know, went wrong, like I have the sink and the water right there ready to go. Always be careful if you're using any sort of flame or fire, and just watch your surroundings. But it really does neaten up the edge on here, just makes it look a lot neater, I think, not so frizzy, if that makes sense. And then again, I used a dab of wood glue in the middle, hot glue on each edge, and then I glued that right on into one in the center of each of those other wooden boards up at the top, so they look like little pumpkin stems sticking up. And now this is coming together nicely. You could leave the pumpkin stems just like they are, but I had some of these little gold berry twine from Dollar Tree, And I thought it might be fun to just kind of add a little accent here and wrap some of that berry twine around our pumpkin stems and then let the little curls stick up the top. I thought it completed the look. And then let's go ahead and just add our welcome sign on here, our welcome wreath. And now if you want to add some extra pop of color, I took some of these extra little random scraps of florals from Dollar Tree, and they have a little bit of orangey color, so I used a little bit of hot glue to just glue in these extra little pieces, and it's perfect because it adds just a very subtle touch of orange into the wreath. And I'm hoping to style this with our fall decor out on our front porch, which stay tuned because I will be posting a fall decorate with me, like an outdoor decorate with me, a front porch decorate with me, and I also want to do our back patio outdoor fall decor for this year, so stay tuned because those videos will also be coming soon. Now moving on for the next one, I have this little sign from Dollar Tree. It says, "You are meant for big things." We are going to start by painting over that lovely message, I know, but I'm taking some chalk paint. I did have to give it a couple of coats to fully cover the background, and now we're kind of going with the same sort of idea, using some of those same little orangey florals from Dollar Tree. Actually, they're not flowers. They are just like a leafy branch, like fall leaves. But they're small and they're easy to bend, so it's perfect to kind of glue them on in the shape of a wreath and make our own little wreath here in the center of this sign. And I thought it came out really cute like this, and then I decided to add in some of those orange flowers that we used before, and it still felt like something was maybe missing. So I did my best to make a little twine bow to add on here. I glued in a couple of pearls, and I had a little bit of this pearl ribbon scrap. I think it's also left over maybe from Valentine's Day time or something, but I didn't have any white ribbon, which I think would have looked pretty. So I just used these little pearls, the pearl ribbon, and tied a little bow or glue, shaped it like a little bow and glued that on here just for a little extra texture, dimension, a little extra interest to our fall decor piece here. I think it just looks really cute and adds a nice splash of color for the fall time. For the next DIY, this one is not particularly a fall DIY. It would be a really nice gift idea, and you could totally make this for any season. So whether you want a fall napkin, a Christmas napkin, and I'm taking these little wooden rounds. I will put the links for as many things as I can down below in the description box, but give it a quick coat of some Mod Podge and then place the napkin that you cut out right in the center there and press it down. And then you can go ahead and do another coat of Mod Podge over that, and then just set the whole thing aside to dry. And I would recommend going back over the entire thing, sides, back, front, just with another coat of Mod Podge, seal it all, finish it up, and let it dry. And then these would make a really cute gift idea, or like I said, something you could make to coordinate with any season, to use anytime around your home. Now, another idea for making a coaster out of these would be taking another one of these wood slices and decorating it with some ribbon. So I had this glittery mesh, like glittery lacy type ribbon, and I've had this for a couple of years and decided to cut some pieces out of it and fill in the center of the wood slice by layering it with a coat of Mod Podge and then arranging the glittery lacy ribbon on here in a neat little pattern. And once that was exactly the way that I wanted it, I went over it again with another coat of Mod Podge. You might need to let it, you'll want to let it dry in between coats, but you'll probably need to give this a couple of coats before it's totally finished. And then here's how this one turned out. I think you could make a cute little set of these as well as a gift idea, or just as a fun way to dress up your space for a certain holiday. I think these would be really beautiful to use at Christmas time. The next one is incredibly easy. I'm taking a little white vase from Dollar Tree and simply adding in some of this new eucalyptus that I found. So they had it in green and also in kind of this like purpley burgundy color that's so beautiful, and I just cut pieces and arranged them in there. Doesn't get any easier than that. Here's how it turned out. Moving on now for the next one, we're taking one of these metal stovetop covers. So they come in a set of 2 in Dollar Tree, and I just sprayed this whole thing over with some metallic gold spray paint on both sides, and then once that was dry, I had a little green chalk paint that I lightly brushed on in from one side in toward the center to make kind of some grass and leaves. So they have these cute little wooden flowers in Dollar Tree, and you can get a whole little pack of them. I thought they were so adorable, and I was actually considering painting them like yellow and orange. I ended up just leaving them with the light natural wood color, and I really like it that way, but definitely feel free to paint these if you want to. Now for this one, I'm actually super simple, not really a DIY, but I saved this little vanilla extract because the bottle, when I was finished, it's actually a nice kind of brown amber glass color, and I know that that's been so popular in home decor. Add in fresh flowers from the yard, or add in some of these little pieces again from that branch that I got in Dollar Tree that I liked so much, and then just style this over in my tiered tray. Moving on for the next one, I'm going to DIY my own little napkin rings here, taking some of this wooden basket weaving material, which I have a whole bunch of because I bought one roll of it years ago, and that roll has just been lasting me for years. So whenever I need it, I just cut off a piece. So I took little pieces off and then wrapped them to the size I wanted for a napkin ring, and left myself enough of the wooden piece to overlap so the wood could overlap, and I just kind of used a generous amount of hot glue, pressed it in there and held it really tightly. And then you can decorate it just with little accessories from Dollar Tree, using little bows or little mini flowers, pumpkins, berries. I'm using some raffia. Actually, it's not even raffia. This is leftover. It's like pieces I'm cutting off of a hula skirt from Dollar Tree, which in my opinion works much better than the raffia because it's much easier to tie in a bow and it looks just like raffia. So have fun with these, customize them, and just be creative with your little napkin rings for your fall tablescapes. You can even add a little bit of greenery in there if you want. I just used whatever little scraps of berries and florals I had that would kind of fit with the fall decor theme. The next one is actually something, again, you could kind of use any time of year. I had some of these little wooden dowels from Dollar Tree, hot gluing these together with a generous amount of hot glue. Actually, it works out pretty well to make a nice little coaster size, and I have been using these every night on our table. Make sure that they're not only the same length, but also kind of the same like width, because you don't want them to be too bumpy. You don't want where some are thicker than other dowels, and then your cup won't sit on there correctly. And make sure that it sits flat and neatly on there. And then once it's dry, flip it over and go along the back side of it in between each dowel and add some extra hot glue. It just makes it a lot more stable, and it also adds a little bit of that rubberiness that makes it non-slip. And here is how these little coasters turned out. You could actually make a set of 4 of these and tie them up as a fun little stocking stuffer idea as well. And if you want to stain them or paint them, by all means, go ahead and do that. I think they would be lovely. So this pumpkin was a Dollar Tree pumpkin I did last year. I took some chalk paint, and I think we mixed baking soda in this one to get kind of like the cement look on here. And now what I'm thinking of doing was removing the top piece. There we go. You can still tell it's a styrofoam pumpkin. Removing the top piece, and then this really pretty pumpkin that I got in Walmart. We're gonna go ahead and use this one, which has a little switch to turn it on and light it up. So pretty. I think this is like gonna just be beautiful at night. And so I wanted to set it on top of this one as a base and create a little bit of like a little pumpkin topiary type of thing here. I was thinking of adding a little bit of the orange flowers and leaves under here maybe too, but just see if we can just kind of set up something like this to set on our shelf. Really simple. Maybe I'll leave this flower out. I don't know. What do you guys think? With or without it? Maybe without this leaf too. Don't really need it. Could just go for a clean, more modern look like this. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed these incredibly easy and affordable Dollar Tree fall DIYs. Let me know which one was your favorite and consider giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. As always, wishing you all a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!